right, so this is Matty Gukas again in Jacksonville, Florida. That's the Sunbeam Road crossing down there. You can see the traffic. These are the southbound signals coming out of the Bowden Yard. I'm going to swing around here. And I was in Jacksonville today, so this is the 3 o'clock cutoff train. I always film, or I used to film during the day, at County Road 206. I have filmed it in the dark recently, but I was up here in Jacksonville, so I thought I would try to catch it before dark. The yard is back up there north. North is what direction we're facing. The head of the train pulls down here. It's all ready to go now. Just waiting on a crew. I'll try to catch it. The crew car should pull up and put the crew in it. I'm going to swing back around, and then these signals here, or one of them, will turn green. That one up there, and the train should pull out. Stay tuned. All right, so I thought I'd walk down here. So there's the lead locomotive. You can see the second car is the LNG, liquid natural gas tank car. All of these locomotives will run off the liquid natural gas. The reason I know that is because the new colored navy and light blue one is in front of the red one, red and yellow one, which is an LNG car. And so they did buy some new ones. Let's go to the tank. So yeah, so these 3 locomotives will run off this LNG, liquid natural gas. This train, which I've never said before, I don't think, is the 107. It's the afternoon cutoff from Jacksonville, Florida. It almost always has auto racks on the front, as you can see them right there. And then the second half will be intermodal. It's got 3 locomotives today, so it's going to be a pretty good sized train. Stay tuned, I'm going to catch it pulling out. All right, so this train was ready early today. I was just up there talking to the yard engineer, but they're not going to leave anytime earlier than when they normally leave. It's 6 p.m. now. They need to be past this signal right here by 6:30, or it's a late train. So we got a few minutes here before the crew car shows up, and crew gets in, gets settled, and requests clearance. Stay tuned. The crew car just arrived. So fresh crew gets out of that automobile, gets on the train, locomotive, the lead locomotive, of course, and gets settled. Yeah, there's the back door opening so they can get their bags. They're definitely overnight in South Florida. We should have liftoff here shortly. Stay tuned. All right, I hear the train moving, creeping forward a little bit. And so we should get a signal here momentarily. Hopefully. There we go. Proceed. Stay tuned. I'm going to run down here in the light. All right, here we go. Florida East Coast Railway, Sunbeam Road, or just north of Sunbeam Road, Jacksonville, Florida. The Southbound 107 train, which is a mixed. I filmed this train. It's you're going to see auto racks at the beginning, and intermodal. There go the gates. You can hear them. You're not going to see the gates. The intersection's behind me, but You're going to hear the horn and the locomotive crank up here in a second. Well, he's doing a slow roll through the intersection. Thought we'd hear the locomotive crank up. I've seen trains pull out here before and they get going pretty quickly. Not sure why they're not doing that tonight, but before we see the end of the train, it should be moving. At a much faster pace. Sorry, I should have added that. I don't think they're going to do the slow roll to South Florida. All right, so here comes the end of the auto racks. And the beginning of the intermodal block. When they do crank it, we should hear a big crack, metal against metal. Well, they're in no hurry to get out of here tonight, which means they're probably going to have to stop in St. Augustine and let a train go by. That would be the meet, a meet like I filmed earlier this week. Can you hear that reefer running? That seaboard container reefer running. There's the Florida East Coast. So Florida East Coast has its own containers. They're called domestic containers. It's a box that they put on a chassis. There's some of the flatbeds I've talked about before. Cypress, I was instrumental in getting them on board on the train. They ship wallboard to South Florida. It's made right here in Jacksonville. Not many railroads will put a flatbed on the train, but you see how well they almost crate that thing up. Anyway, they've been doing it for over a decade now. It's very successful. If they didn't use the train, they would have to send a truck all the way to South Florida with that wallboard on it and come back empty 99% of the time. Yeah, 3 locomotives. This is going to be a long train, and it's going slow, so it's going to be a long video. Be patient, folks. There's an empty well cars. Something missed a cut. Cut off. Oh, starting to pick up a little speed. Nice and smooth. I didn't hear the crack of the slack. And there's some of those lumber flatbeds they've been running successfully now for quite a while. There's another one. 2 more. It's a closed loop and a very populated area for the most part. Trains don't stop for the most part, so there's no or little or no opportunity for pilferage. That would be an issue in a longer, like mainland, central United States. Not so much that they don't want to run the flatbeds, it's that when they have to stop out in the middle of nowhere, people might climb on the train and try to pilfer the lumber off the flatbeds, and that would of course cause the train not to be able to move. Alright, we're cranking up here. It's a long train. I think I see the end. And there you go. The 107 departing Jacksonville, Florida. All right, Matty Gukas here in St. Augustine, Florida at the Lewis Speedway, crossing Florida East Coast Railway, and looks like we're gonna have a train meet. Stay tuned. All right, Matty Gukas again. I had to abandon that spot there at Lewis Speedway. I have an appointment, but I'm gonna catch the southbound train from that meet. It's the local out of Jacksonville, Florida. Here it comes. The local black rock train. And there you go. That train will go into the siding down there just north of where I was, Lewis Speedway. You can see that yellow signal down there if you zoom in, right in the center of the screen right now. But I have an appointment now. I can't wait for the northbound to go by. Be safe.